Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second presentation in our Invest in You series. Today's topic is Get Career Ready. I am Steph Bates. I am the Graduate Career Advisor at the CDIC, otherwise known as the Career Development and Internship Center here in Alumni Hall. We're going to have our Invest in You series every other Monday at 4 p.m., lasting about a half an hour or less. And while we're here, if you can just put in the chat what area or department you work for on campus, if you have an on-campus job right now. I see a library, great. Another library, Grand School, perfect. Res Life, great. Advancement, athletics, again, perfect. A lot of different departments showing up, perfect, great. That's what we like to see. So we're gonna get started with the National Association of College and Employers survey. This survey is sent out and completed by all employers asking which skills do you look for in a candidate, and they provide the top 10 ranking for every year. So this year, the top 10 are the ability to work in a team, problem-solving skills, analytic skills, verbal communication, written communication, initiative, leadership, technical skills, flexibility and adaptability, and a strong work ethic. So these skills are usually in the top 10 every year. Sometimes they fluctuate on the ranking, but usually these kind of stick as the top 10. One thing we kind of noticed this year was that written communication was actually the top skill that employers were looking for last year, and then went all the way down to 5th this year. And we just think it might be because of the changing work environment due to the pandemic. So it might be things just to consider as you go out into the work field soon. So I have a poll for you to answer. Let me just activate it in 1 second. So if you can just look at the poll and look at the skills that we have listed, how many skills do you think you have? Do you think you have 1 or 2, 3 or 4? Do you have all 10? Let's see, what do we have so far? Well, someone thinks they have all 10 or 9 or 10, which is great. A few people saying 7 to 8, perfect. 5 to 6, great. So a large majority of you are saying 7 to 8, which is great. We want to make sure that all of our students are having an opportunity to develop as many skills as they can. We try to make sure that somewhere along the line at Assumption, you try to have a chance to develop all 10 of these skills. And then in the chat, if you can just provide, how did you get these skills? Maybe how were you able to develop the skill of the ability to work in a team? How did you develop the skill on having written communication skills? So schoolwork, perfect. Class, previous work experiences, great. First job experience, past work, schoolwork, good. So I'm seeing a mixture of schoolwork and work experience, which is perfect. So just like you said, how do I get these skills? So you want to develop these skills by the time you graduate through your experiences at Assumption. Some of the ways you can get these things are actually even through your on-campus employment, just like you said, previous work experience, but also current work experience. So maybe you got the ability to work as a team by collaborating with the members of your office or your department, with other students, staff members, faculty members, and then anyone else, other departments on campus. For verbal communication, you could be talking professionally with members of the community on the phone. Written communication, you can be writing emails to staff members through email, and then maybe you have heavy writing assignments such as creating flyers, managing social media. There's a lot of different ways through your on-campus employment that you can get these skills. And just again, I want to reiterate that these skills don't have to just be from employment or through the classroom. You can actually develop skills through your activities and involvement in sports, organizations, and clubs through Assumption as well. So the important part, how will you showcase these skills? So the only way you can do it is communication. Communication is the key to everything. You had to sell your skills in writing, and that would be through a resume. And you have to sell your skills verbally, and that would be through an interview. So selling your skills in written communication, otherwise known as your resume, you want to look at the job description. The job description is the key to everything. You already know what the top 10 skills that are important. So you want to figure out what specific skills the employers are looking for. And it should be clear through reading the job description. Try to match your own personal experiences with the company's needs. And then you'll be creating bullet points to match your experiences and get some more specific details about the skills that you already have to match the company's needs. The more details you include, the more the employer will know about you. That way they know very specifically the skills you do know and the skills you might not know. And the skill descriptions are not limited to your work experience section. They can go in your coursework section on your resume, as well as your activity section on your resume. So let's say you want to highlight some written communication skills on your resume, and you run the CDIC social media accounts. You can create a bullet point that states that you created engaging content for the CDIC's social media pages, including their Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn accounts. And you increased followers by 5%. So that would be one great bullet point to write, specifically talking about your written communication skills. So now we're going to be looking at real actual job and internship postings to figure out what companies are looking for which skills. So right here is a communication internship for a music school. So I'll give you about a minute or two to read the job description, and then we can, through the chat, have a conversation about which skills this employer is specifically looking for. Great. So can anybody write in the chat a skill that they've noticed that is a theme in this particular job application? I see written communication skills, definitely. Now remember, these skills, what I'm looking for are the top 10 skills listed over here. What of these top 10 skills can you pick out that this employer is looking for? Leadership skills, good. Communication skills as well. Technical skills. Great answers. Thank you for everyone participating. Yeah, so there's some written communication skills, especially because it is a communications internship. You're going to be focusing on the social media platforms, which are all written based. I also believe there's some initiative where it talks about being a self-motivated worker. And then it has technical skills, so working with computers and things like that. The next application is going to be an application for a shelter advocate. So take a second to read through this application and then try and figure out which skills the top 10 list of skills are in this application that we can focus on when writing our bullet points for our resume. Great, I see some problem solving, communication, flexibility, strong work ethic. Great, these are all great answers so far. Verbal communication, flexibility, perfect. Great, so yeah, I think everyone's answers are great. I think the only one that I could really add are technical skills. So they do say they're looking for someone with some strong computer skills, but everyone said verbal communication, which is a really high skill because this is a counseling position and you advocate for people, problem solving and analytical skills, trying to solve and see what support systems are best for the person. And we have strong work ethic, definitely. Great. So moving along. Now we're going to be focusing on selling your skills in an interview. So what we have here are some very common interview questions. And there are two main types of interview questions. The blue ones are the common get to know you type questions. And then the questions are green are what we call behavioral questions. So today we're going to talk about how to answer behavioral based questions so that you'll be able to appropriately demonstrate the skills that you already know to the best of your ability. And then you can prep for your interview by, again, looking at that job application and picking out the skills that are a common theme and kind of focusing and preparing answers to those skills. So the best way to answer your behavioral-based questions is what we call the STAR method. So it's an acronym. It stands for situation, so the example of a specific event. The T is for task, so what did you do? A is for action, for how you did it, and R is for response, or what was the result. I feel like the most common part that students forget to answer is the R, the response. Now, this could be a very important part of your answer because it could talk about what happened because of your actions. So maybe you improved something or you had some self-reflection and you found out something about yourself. But whatever it might be, it probably is one of the most important parts of your interview question. Okay, so now this is a finance internship. And looking through the internship application, I noticed that it had a team-oriented qualification. So what I did is I focused on this part, and if I were trying to apply for this internship, I would prepare answers for team-based questions. So a common interview question, especially for students who are just coming out of college, or tell me about a time when you had to work as part of a team. So what I did is I created a situation using some on-campus employment to create a STAR method of answer. So my situation, while I was working on campus as a game day communication staff member, I had to work with a team of 2 other students to ensure that football games were live streamed on multiple platforms. The T, task, I was the team leader and managed the technical aspects of the live streams. A, for action, is I created a plan that divided up responsibilities equally among the team and made sure that everyone felt comfortable with their responsibilities. And then the R is, as a result, the live streams did not have any issues all season. So that would be an appropriately answered behavioral-based question, each with the S, the T, the A, and the R for the STAR method. So that is going to be the end of our presentations. I do want to remind you that we do have a few more Invest in You series coming up. The next one is going to be on choosing your major. After that, we'll be talking about finding grad schools. And then after that, we'll be doing an internship search. Again, if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to careerdevelopment@assumption.edu. We're here to help you whenever we can.